Hey there, kids! How is everyone? Oh my god, we're back! Oh my god. Alright. So, this feels surreal. I'll be honest with you. Um, just, I've been sitting here and reading the comments, and I'm super touched. I really am. Um, I already started tearing up just looking at the comments. But we're gonna hold off on that. Man, seeing some old usernames here as well as some new ones. So for you newbies that haven't experienced this yet, welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you stick around. Um, like I said in the descriptions of various social media posts, this is going to be a little bit of a different stream. We're not going to be working tonight. This is basically just a reintroduction to everything. As you could see, in the beginning, in the countdown, is very stripped down. No advertisements or any of that shit. Um, yeah, we're just starting simple. We're just starting simple. We're just gonna talk, kind of give you different updates and things like that, explanations, kind of where I am, what happened, what kept me off so long, and then we'll finish off talking about the future. I don't know how long this is gonna you know go tonight, but we'll go as long as it needs to go. Let's put it that way. And obviously we'll answer some questions. This is more, I think, of a personal type of stream tonight. Um, it just means a whole hell of a lot to be back. And just seeing you guys, on here talking, chatting, amongst each other as well. Like, dude, it feels so freaking good. Feels so good. I saw a Sarge, Juggernaut 471 on there. Sarge, good to see you, buddy. Thank you. He was the first comment on here, I think like an hour or two ago. So that was awesome to see. Bailey, dude, hi. Thank you for dropping by, brother. I appreciate that. Just everybody. Everybody, it really means a lot. It really, really does. You know, it's been a tough go, but it's worth it. It's been worth it, all the challenges and everything like that. And so we'll get into that here and all of that. So for the newbies, ground rules. If you got a question, cool. Type it in, big capital letters, question before you ask it. I don't have the graphics. We have a question. I don't have that going or anything. This is just very, very stripped down tonight. We'll get into that in later streams. But yeah, if you got a question, please ask it. We're going to keep it non-hobby related tonight. So we'll get into the hobby stuff at a later date. When, things are actually on the table. Because right now, I know you guys can't see it from your viewpoint. There's nothing here. It's completely empty, except for my cutting mat and keyboard and stuff like that. So, not actively building anything currently. That'll get there. But, I wanted to get back here, get back online, get back to streaming, get back to talking to you guys. One of the biggest things that I've missed is the community aspect of it. Just being part of that, I really missed these past 4 years. And it just feels really good to be back into that. And I know, seeing a lot of what you guys are talking about and things like that. I know some other people Looks like had some challenges. I know Brandon, he's got 3 kids now, so he's, been crazy, busy and all of that. So, yeah, life gets in the way sometimes, and it definitely got in the way for me. So, yeah. All right. So where to begin? Obviously, the last stream was at the old house. Um, Man, that was I watched the last stream a little bit today, and that brought back some really good memories. Um, but I did say in the beginning that, oh yeah, yeah, it'll be like, a few weeks and we'll be back. All I could think of was like that SpongeBob, 4 years later, type of thing. And yeah, it's been a lot. So, but obviously for the newbies, man, let's kind of rewind and set the stage. Especially for them, and obviously for everybody, because not a lot of people know, kind of, you know, all the facts of what went on with everything. So, you know, so much time has passed. I'm an open book at this point. Um, so I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys with everything. So, buckle in, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So, yeah, so basically, we rewind to 2019. Seems so fucking long ago. But 2019, um, kind of on top of the world, you know. Um, just the stream was going well. Mecha decals selling and stuff like that. Going around doing like conventions and stuff like that. Finished airdrop and airdrop one. The US GBWC, went to Japan, all of that. So that, it was a good time for me in the hobby. It wasn't a great time for me personally, though. Um, and that's, I think, one of the parts that not a lot of people kind of realize. Um, Marital problems, you know, like you do. um, so yeah, that was tough. And it's gonna be tough for me to kind of, put this out there, but it's gonna be cathartic for me. It's gonna be therapeutic. Is that a word? I don't know. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. But yeah. So, man, 2019. Just going all over the place for the hobby and everything. Um, yeah, doing Mosquito Con. James, thank you. Hi, how you doing? um, Going to places like SCGMC, Arizona for what was it? Yeah, the what is this? The Sabot. I found the badge. The Sabaton Con, 2019, right there. Right. I was invited to that con. They threw me out, flew me out, all of that stuff, and it was great. And man, just hanging out with people, meeting people, just spreading the love of the hobby, teaching, all of that. That was great. On top of the world. But at the same time, my now ex-wife, um, you know, just hammering me with like, um, I'm cheating on her. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Blah blah blah. And I wasn't. um, and that got on me. That affected me mentally. Um, you know, she was very manipulative in retrospect. And yeah, like the constant barrage of accusations, things like that, that's tough to work with. It's tough to get through, right? And it it wore on me a lot. It really did. It wore on me quite a lot. And so, you know, get back from GBWC. 2020 hits, thinking like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a great year, right? Everybody was like that. Man, it's gonna be my year. 2020, it's gonna be great. Little did we know, right? Little did we know. Um, so me and the ex, we get flown out to Dubai for the Otaku ME Modelers Cup, right? Had a great time. Had a great time. Came back. That was right before COVID hit. It literally hit, I think, the next week or two. Um, and just everything's getting locked down. We're doing, we're doing our dumb, mechanism streams and everything, and we were all joking and having masks on and everything, and I remember, Frankie and Armida Tex, both on there. I know Armida, I remember that COVID stream. She, fucking cut a hole in her mask to drink, water or something like that, or maybe it was a White Claw. I don't fucking know. But yeah, we were all joking about it, and yeah, little did we know, right? Um, so yeah, so the world shut down, and I worked remotely since 2010. So I didn't have to go into an office or anything like that. But month or two goes by, and I get furloughed, basically, temporarily laid off from my job, and I was the breadwinner. We had a mortgage, and we had a car payment, two car payments, raising a daughter, Amber, all that, and so that was not a great situation to be in. I went on unemployment, um, and so I'm just kind of sitting, trying to stream more. If you guys remember, I was doing 2 streams a day, trying to make ends meet, trying to get, put food on the table, because, like, you know, what was I going to do at that point? I couldn't do like Uber or, DoorDash or some shit, because nobody knew what COVID was at that point in those early days, and nobody knew, how it was even transmitted at that point. People were dying left and right. I didn't want to take that chance and bring that home, to my family, right? So it was not a great situation for me. Um, Thankfully, my ex still worked at the time, government contract, so nothing changed with them. They had, guaranteed work. Um, so month or so goes by, and May rolls around, and May 17th was our wedding anniversary, right? And so we're both kind of, off work, and she says to me, she says, "Hey, can we talk?" Now, mind you, this is our wedding anniversary, right? So I'm like, "Yeah." So we go upstairs into the bedroom, and she's just like, "I want a divorce." Completely blindsided. Completely blindsided. I knew we had our problems, but I didn't think they were that severe. Um, but yeah, asked for a divorce on our anniversary. Um, so that sucked. That really sucked. And I didn't process it right away. I think it took like maybe a week or two for me to fully process the ramifications of it. And I was just kind of numb initially, and I didn't know, kind of, I guess, what was going on, or all of that. Like, it really fucked me up. Like, I was just going through the motions at that point. Like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, no big deal. But then after a while, then it kind of it kind of worked through my head. It kind of processed, and I realized what would happen, and I'm like, oh shit, my family's going away, my house is going away, like all of that happens. Like I don't want to lose this, right? Excuse me. And so I tried to do the right thing. I um tried to work it out. And I thought for a little bit that we were back. A few months went by. We were working on things, going to see, therapists and stuff like that. And the one therapist, she started seeing, and then she kind of brought me in. And so when we had our joint session one day, um, the therapist is asking me a bunch of questions and things like that, and I'm answering them, as truthfully as possible. And my ex is just like, see, that's what I'm dealing with, blah blah blah. And the therapist kind of looks at her and she's just like, no, this is he's right. And so we get back from that session and she jumps all in my shit, like, you guys are ganging up on me, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, I'm just speaking the truth. So that's kind of a good indication of kind of where we were at the time. Um, and yeah, so I mean, we worked on it, and I thought we were back. Um, so that was May 2020. And then, like I said, a few months go by. Um, and, I'll admit, I did some dumb shit. Um, I didn't cheat on her, you know, not like that. Um, but I was desperate, and desperate minds go to desperate places. Um, and I didn't help my cause with some of the things that I did, and I admit that, and I was in the wrong for a little bit of it. Um, so December rolls around, December 2020, and right before Christmas, right? So we're standing in line on Christmas Eve, to get sushi and Chinese food, kind of like it's tradition for us. Her parents are up, yada yada yada, and my ex is like, she's kicked back a few glasses of wine at that point. She's feeling pretty good. We're standing in line. It's cold and everything, and I see her on her phone, and she's on Facebook, and she's liking these posts and everything. And I see one of the posts that she likes um, was from a guy that she was talking to, that she had actually gone out with in high school. And so I'm like, I didn't feel great about it. And I know they were talking while we were kind of going through the, whole divorce conversation and everything. She told me that was done. And so I just kind of was just like, you know what? I'm not going to rock the boat. It's Christmas, family's up. We're going to get through this. Everything's going to be fine. We're back, yada, 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 all that, right? So, we get through Christmas, and then December 28th, 3 days after Christmas in 2020, um, I get hit with a minor lawsuit for downloading a movie illegally. So had to take out a small loan to pay off the settlement, blah blah blah. It was stupid. It was stupid. You know. Torrenting a dumb, a movie for us to watch, and yeah, it was dumb. Anywho, so she saw that loan. Um she saw that loan in our bank account on online and everything. Yeah, I'm a fucking pirate, dude. Yes, Frankie, I am. But she saw that and she confronted me about it, and she's like all crying and everything. She's just like, "Are you gonna divorce me?" And I'm like, "No, no, no. This is what happened." And like she was so relieved, and I thought, "Okay, cool, we're back, right?" And then I was like, "All right." So I felt like we were opening up, right? So I felt confident, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I noticed this the other night. Waiting in line for Chinese food and sushi and everything, and her whole demeanor just flipped on a switch. The waterworks just completely dried up. She's just like, "Do you really want to do this now?" And I'm like, "Do what? What are we doing?" She's just like, "Let's go upstairs and talk." So we go upstairs, and she proceeds to tell me she still wants the divorce, and that she had never stopped seeing this guy, and that she was cheating on me, and that broke me in half. Um, it killed me. It really did. It killed me inside. Um, 3 days after Christmas, right? I'm thinking like all is good. We're back. We're solid. No, no. So, you know, she asks me to leave. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not leaving my daughter. That's not happening. Um, so she packs up her bags and walks out on Amber and I. And now, mind you, Amber at the time was 12, 13 years old. And all I can think of and all I could remember about that was standing in our garage, watching her pull out and the garage door coming down. And that's kind of when I felt like my life had ended at that point, you know? That was kind of the metaphor of it, you know? Um, that literally closed the door on that chapter of my life. um, so Amber stayed with me, um, and I was crushed. Um, Even worse than the first time she asked me for a divorce. um, I just didn't know how to continue, you know. Um, but I knew I had to, at very least for Amber, right? So, and for you new guys, Amber's my daughter. We'll talk about her in a minute. She's doing great. She's still with me. She's upstairs. A little under the weather right now, but yeah, she's been with me through this whole thing. She lived with me for all the whole time, right? But anyway, so had to start making calls, and my sister and her husband came over, my mom came over, called my dad, and I had a lot of support during that, which I'm very, very thankful for. um and I don't really know if I could have made it through without that support. And thankfully, at the time, we were still seeing a wonderful therapist. Her name's Pat. I still see her to this day. She's like an aunt that I've never had, um, and she's awesome. She's really awesome. Um, but immediately got on, texted her, and her Amber and I both started seeing her regularly. Um, But yeah, that was a really really dark time in my life. My sister and her husband took Amber. Amber spent the night, well, a couple nights at their house, and I'll be honest with you, I stayed in my basement and slept on the couch down in my basement for probably 3 days straight, um, with no lights on or anything like that. And it was a very, literally very, very dark time in my life. Probably the darkest. Because I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a path. I didn't have a way forward. I didn't have any control over the situation. And I knew I was going to lose everything. I was going to lose the house. Because I couldn't pay for the house on my own, my salary alone. Um, and yeah, it was really, really a tough time for me. But, you know, I got through it with the support of, my family and friends, my therapist. Um, you know, there aren't many people that kind of know this whole backstory. I could probably count them on one hand. um, and some friends, from the old mechanism days, um, they kind of knew bits and pieces, but obviously they don't, they didn't know the whole story either. Um, and it just, I wasn't in a place to tell that story, um, to them, you know. Um, so you know, Frankie, Armida, obviously you guys were on Mechanism. Um, so, I apologize that I wasn't forthcoming with that, but like I said, I just wasn't in that place. Um, I wasn't in that place. I had to keep that private, you know. Um, so, 2021 comes around and, I get back to streaming for you guys, and that was very therapeutic for me. Getting back into, the community and having that support structure, and the friendships and all of that. Um, that meant the world to me, um, during that time. And I've missed it so fucking much. Um, but Armida says you can thank me with money. Yeah, if I had some, right? Um, but yeah, nobody's getting paid, dude. Um, but so yeah, 2021, it was tough getting through that and putting on kind of, the strong front and things like that. Obviously, had to um had to be strong for Amber, obviously. And get her through because she was struggling. Her fucking mom walked out on her to be with some other dude. Um, and the only house that she's really known in her life, we were going to be moving. So that's a lot to take for a kid, 12, 13 years old, still in middle school. She didn't know the way around the world and, how ugly it can be. But she got a rude awakening, unfortunately. And, she made it through. And I'm stupid, stupid proud of her. Um, she, uh, she did a great job. She did the work and she thrived, you know, and I could not be more proud of her, honestly. Um, so yeah, so 2021, we're getting through that. Um, we get through the divorce proceedings. They were amicable. Um, we did a mutual one of the mutual things, a mutual divorce agreement. Basically, she paid for the lawyer. I didn't pay for shit, thankfully. Um, and we got it done in, I think, June 2021, something like that. And it was September when we finally, got the house sold, bought this place. And then moving day hit, and it's Amber's first day of school, um, in her new school. Um, so yeah, she went to school, leaving the old house, and when she came home, we were in the new house, and that was a total moving was a total clusterfuck. That was another thing. Um, my sister and her husband were supposed to help me. We rented a truck, and they were supposed to help me move and all of that, and it should have gone off without a hitch. Well, they flaked out on me, and I had to get an emergency moving crew, and they literally came that day at noon, and we didn't get done moving into the new place until probably 10, 11 that night. Um, and the crew was great. They did what they could. But unfortunately, they just kind of threw things wherever. And if you guys watched any of the episodes of this new studio, you'll know this place was basically the makeshift storage unit for the moving guys. This room had carpet and boxes to the ceiling and miscellaneous crap and all of that. And so I had to dig through all of that stuff. I was exhausted and still just mentally drained. And I don't know what I was thinking on that last stream, saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll be back up in a couple weeks." Shit, no, no. Um, that was a delusion of grandeur. Um, and that was a mess. Um, so yeah, just getting Amber's room and my room took probably weeks to get in order, and then had to get the living room in order and buy new furniture because, you know, when you split, the other one takes half of the shit. Um, but yeah, had to go out buy furniture for the living room. We splurged and bought a big new TV for ourselves, and that's cool. Um, and our cats didn't have a clue what to make of anything, and they're like running all over the place and hiding, and we couldn't find one of them for probably 2, 3 days straight. We knew she was around, but like we couldn't find her. So finally she came out of the woodworks, and we were, felt relieved again, but still, that's kind of what you get with moving into a new place, right? Um, and it was a mess, and it took its toll. That took its toll on me too. And I still don't talk to my sister and her husband still to this day because of all that crap. Um, they flaked out on me at the worst possible moment. And yeah, so I haven't talked to him in like 4+ years. So, you know, those things happen. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, unpacking all of that stuff and just working at the same time and trying to get my office in gear and all of that, it was just fucking torture. Um, and kind of as we went through the unpacking process, it felt like dominoes, because you unpack one room and then that automatically opens up space where you can move stuff from another room into that space, and get all that unpacked, and domino after domino. It was kind of tough. And then this room was the last room to get unpacked, and God, that was whenever I put out the first um this new studio video, that was when I got this unpacked. Maybe like a week before. Um, so it took a long time to get this room in a place to where I could actually work on it. Um, so oh, Brandon, yeah, yeah. That furlough was only for like a month, thankfully, um, because the company that I worked for got that what is it, uh, the loan, the PPP loan. I forget what it was called, payroll protection something. Yeah, and we got that covered, payroll covered, insurance, all that good stuff. So yeah, I ended up at the same company. I don't work there anymore, but yeah. Um, so then next we start working on this place and tearing this place up, and doing the painting and ripping out the carpeting and putting the flooring down, and getting all this crap restored and painted and refinished and stuff like that, and building new stuff, building new shelves, and building fucking cabinets and drawers and everything. So yeah, it was a lot of work to get to the place where we are now. And I know someone had mentioned before, if we can get a tour. Yes, the answer is yes to that. I'll do a video and kind of walk you around. You can see this side. I got to get used to the pointing which sides, but you can see, nope, there, right here. Yep, there. That's a closet. That's backlog and everything, and that's just packed full. Got kits up here. There, you can't see it, but I've got a stack of kits on top of the paint rack back here. All of that is just filled with kits and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll get you guys a grand tour of this place when it's back and back together and everything. It's still a work in progress. Still cleaning. You can see the vacuum handle right there, and you can see the fucking directions. The little ladder there. So yeah, we're still working on a lot of stuff in here, but I can work in here. So that's at least a good start. I've got my workbenches and desks, they're all clean. I can pull out a project and start working on it. I've got camera set up, got the mic obviously set up, this camera. So yeah, we can do kind of bare bones streams and things like that, which is obviously what we're doing tonight. No camera two, no fancy intros or any of that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna start simple and we're gonna work our way back. So, but the studio, I'm very very proud of this studio. I put a lot of work into this bitch, and I'm very very happy with the results of it. And it's not, well, I think it probably is as big as the old studio, but it's a different orientation. This is more kind of square, where the other one was kind of long, kind of like a shoebox. This is more square, and it's a bit odd when it comes to placement of the different pieces of furniture and stuff like that I have in here. But I think I've got it down to where it works. So we'll get into working on models and stuff like that, and techniques and all of that stuff in the future. Let's, while we're on that subject, let's talk about scheduling. All right, so obviously we're back. We're back into streaming and everything now. This is going to be the only stream for this year. So I wanted to come back and do this. This was, I think this stream honestly is more for me than it is for you. if I'm being honest. And I know that sounds selfish, but I think I needed to come back. Um, and I think I needed to, you know, get back into the community and talking. And it forced me to kind of fast forward some things. Um, so yeah, we're one and done for this year, but then come January, hopefully, we'll get the ball rolling, hit the ground running, and we'll get back working on a project. Maybe start something new, maybe dig something out of the bins. I got a bunch to choose from at this point. Um, I've got the GM Quell that I was working on. I don't know if any of you remember that, but that was almost done. I may just work on that off stream and just get it done and out of the way. Um, I've got the GBWC, the remix. If you remember the Zaku that I heavily customized, and then I started customizing the Jesta into an RX-78, so we can work on that. Hell, I've got the GM Spartan still packed away. I've got some other projects here. I've got one that was super secret, that was a big project that I never finished, for a company that shall remain nameless. We're all very familiar with that company. We buy their products. But we never finished it. There were several of us, and I don't know if any of us finished it. So yeah, but we'll get back to it, come next year. Yeah, we're never seeing that payout. Yeah, no, we're never. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Um, Version Logic 2.0, James. Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. That's an easy one. Scratch build something in a cube. Yeah, I mean that would be easy. The possibilities are endless. You know, I'm open to whatever at this point, but we'll get there. You know, we'll get there. You know, like I said, I wanna start off slow, kind of get my sea legs back, as they say. Um, but yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Um, Now getting back onto a subject that I'm extremely, extremely proud of, and that's Amber. Um, I couldn't have made it through this whole situation without Amber. Um, I'm so incredibly proud of her, and I think if I'm gonna tear up on the stream, it'll probably be talking about her. Um, because I'm so incredibly proud of the kid. Because she has thrived. Um, like I said, when everything happened, she was 12, 13 years old. And, you know, I asked her, I was just like, I want you to live with me. And she's like, yeah. And we were two peas in a pod, man. And we still are, don't get me wrong. But we were like joined at the hip, for probably that first year or two. Um, and we were Team Harkins. Um, and we always said that, um, when we were going through tough times, either one of us, we would just be like, Team Harkins, we got this. And that meant a lot. That meant a lot. And then, as she started kind of doing her work, with our therapist, and she got into, went into high school. She got into theater. She's very big into theater. And she's not an actor. She's not on the stage. She does makeup, behind the scenes. And she is so, so incredibly talented at that. Um, the she's done it, um, she's done every single show every single year of high school. She did a show in middle school, at the very end of that. She's done summer plays at different community theaters and stuff like that. um, she's so fucking talented, and she has her own studio. I don't know if you guys remember some of the posts that I did, but I made her her own studio, upstairs in a spare bedroom, and that's where she does, she has her computer up there, and she plays games and stuff like that. And she she also does nails. So she is just, I don't know where the kid learned how to do nails, but she blows my mind with some of the designs that she comes up with. And all her friends go to her for, if they need nails or something like that. And she had a friend over just the other night, and she spent probably 6 hours doing her nails, and these things were works of art. Let's put it that way. Um, yeah, she did do cosplay. Brandon, she used to. She got out of that. She's not into it anymore. Um, she just does, the nails and the makeup and stuff like that now. Um, yeah, Armida, you said nails. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, she she gets sick with these nails. And she's so freaking good. Um, yeah, Bailey. Patelis. That means she got hand brush skills you don't, boss. Yes, yes, she absolutely does. 100%. She is highly superior in that arena to me, and I'm not afraid to say that. But yeah, um, she does nail. Especially when it's like a dance is coming up, she'll get like, half a dozen orders from people, and like her friends and stuff like that, and she'll do hers and all of that, and it's just crazy. Super super talented, but in theater she's amazing at that too. I think it was her sophomore year. um, she got head makeup artist. And mind you, the high school that she goes to isn't like a humongous high school. It's a good size, but it's not like one of these mega schools or anything like that. And they have a large company, of folks, probably a good 75 kids, help out in different areas and costumes, stages, and stuff like that. Actors, all that stuff. And so yeah, so she got head makeup artist in her sophomore year, and she has been, I think, head makeup artist almost every single time except for one since then. Um, the director loves her, loves the job that she does. She's incredibly talented with designing makeup and stuff like that for the different productions and things. They just did Alice in Wonderland back in November, and that was a ton of work. Last year they did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and they needed a good 60 wigs for different Oompa Loompas and stuff like that. And yeah, her team, like, she has a team of makeup artists that she oversees, and they all knocked it out of the park. And I'm so so incredibly proud of her, um, because she's like a drill instructor in there, and she's just like, okay, do this, do that, do this, and she's just telling people where to go and how to do these things, and I'm just like blown away by it. um, and super super proud. And so she's got one more production. She's already she's already been given head makeup artist for that. And for those of you wondering, it's they're doing Legally Blonde in, I think it's March, April, something like that. I forget. Um, but yeah, they're doing Legally Blonde, so there's not going to be a ton of makeup, but She's still head makeup artist. She's got her team in place, the whole 9 yards, all of that, and she's super psyched about it. She can't wait to do that. Um, and then to top that all off, her grades are immaculate. Um, I get on her about her grades, and I've been staying on her about her grades and things like that over these past 4 years because I keep telling her, I'm like, you got to get good grades, or you're not going to get into a good college, right? So, um, the college applications started a couple months ago, and I'm walking out of work one day, and she calls me on the phone, and she's just like, "All right, I have three pieces of news," and she's just like, "All right." So I was accepted to my safety school, and then she was like, I got accepted to kind of, my B level school, and then I got accepted to my first choice school. She got accepted to every single school she applied to. This kid's amazing. Um, and I'm like so happy for her right now. The school that her number one school, they gave her like a $14,000 scholarship because of her grades. So I'm just off the wall proud of this kid. Um, a lot of kids when they go through adversity, um, they could resort to other things, negative things, drugs, hanging out with the wrong people, things like that. Um, and she didn't. She didn't. She, I don't want to necessarily say she used it as motivation, but she didn't let the adversity get to her. And yeah, that speaks volumes for her character. Um, and I hope, I hope in some little way that I helped with that. And I hope that, when she goes off to school, she, you know, kind of carries that with her and, continues to make really good decisions and do the right thing even when nobody's looking and all of that. Um, so yeah, I'm like just incredibly proud of Amber. And she's got a job, she's got her own car. Um, so yeah, she's driving around, she's hanging out with her friends. They had a little get together last night where they exchanged Christmas presents and stuff, and she had a lot of fun with that. So man, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Frankie says she's driving. Yeah, dude, she's been driving for probably most of this year. Yeah. She's a good driver. She drives me around sometimes. And at first I was just like, but now I'm just like, okay, yeah, she does a great job. She does a great job. Um, so yeah, so Amber's really, really good. She is thriving right now. She can't wait to go to college. Um, it's the college is kind of on um, the other coast of Maryland. If you're familiar with Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay splits Maryland in kind of two pieces. There's the Eastern Shore where she is going to be going, and she's going to be going to Salisbury State College, and it's a good school. And she wanted to go kind of a little ways away, but not too far away, so she can still come home and all that. So I'm very proud of her for kind of choosing that because she wants to be on her own. And Salisbury State, Frankie, State, not steak. Jesus, somebody's hungry. Um, but yeah, so she's gonna go and do that, and yeah, man, her senior year in high school. I don't know how she got such an easy year of high school. So she's got the way they break it down here is they have A days and B days, and you have different classes on each day, right? So on an A day, which is Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays because they alternate, um, she goes in at 9 a.m., 2 hours later than everybody because she doesn't have a first period class. Um, so she gets to go in late, and then that same day, she's an aide in the library, and then she is a teacher's assistant for her last period. So there have been days where she's put in 2 hours of school and just come home because either the library didn't need her or the teachers didn't need her to be an aide or anything like that. So she's got a super, super easy A day. And then Mondays, or B days, I should say, aren't that much harder. I mean, she goes in at regular time, but she's got cheese classes, mostly art classes. And this is a great example of how much her teachers love her. Um, she was invited invited to take advanced photography, even though she never took, basic photography because the teacher loves her. Um, so Amber didn't know a thing about photography. But the teacher loved her and invited her to take it and said, "Oh yeah, we'll get you on there. It's not a problem." So yeah, so she's in advanced photography. She's getting good grades in that, and yeah, her teachers just absolutely love her. Um, you know, uh, it's crazy. The kid is doing so good. And like I said, I'm a proud dad. I'm a very, very proud dad. So, um, now aside from that, um, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this one will make me smile. Um, I want to talk about my girlfriend. Her name's Renee. Um, and I'm pretty sure she's watching. She doesn't have a YouTube channel, so she can't comment. But I think pretty sure she's watching. Hi, babe. um, and so yeah, so Renee and I met through online dating, Match.com, and she's amazing. Um, I can't be I could not be luckier to have found her. Um, I'm on there. It's probably a year removed from, you know, the final, divorce thing and all of that. Yeah, everybody say hi to Renee, please. She'll love it. Um, oh my God, she created a channel. Wow. Okay. Renee blot in my eye. What the fuck? What is that? That's weird. Okay. Anyway. So, hi babe. But Renee is amazingly special to me. Um yeah. Everybody's saying hi. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. But yeah, so we met through Match.com. It's probably a year removed from the final, divorce proceedings, probably a year and a half after, when the ex left and everything like that. So, you know, a good amount of time went by and I was kind of ready to, you know, kind of see what was out there and went on a couple dates. They didn't really materialize in anything. And then I get this I get this message from this cute little blonde and we just start talking and so I was just like, yeah, you sound like a lot of fun. Let's go have dinner, right? So we um we had dinner and that was it. We were done. We found each other, you know. Um and yeah, I'm super lucky. um super lucky to have found her, and she's just amazing. Um, she Renee is kind of the polar opposite of everything I knew about a relationship. Because my previous relationship was really kind of there's a lot of manipulation in retrospect, a lot of gaslighting, um, and just not a lot of support. Um, for the things that I was interested in or the things that I did or anything like that. It was much more a one-way street. Um, in terms of importance for things. And Renee, she showed me what a relationship should be like. Um, based on, you know, mutual support and um, just talking and getting along and just being there for each other and being present and talking and communicating and just loving each other unconditionally. Um, I never experienced that before. And she makes, babe, you make me so fucking happy. So, um, yeah, but, uh, anyway, but yeah, she is absolutely fucking amazing. And, you know, we just have a good time together. We laugh. I don't think we've ever even been in a fight, um, over these past, 3, 4 years, honestly. I don't think that we have. Because I think if anything comes up, we talk about it, um, and we work through it. And she, Renee moved down to North Carolina back in March of this year. And she found out about it, God, I think maybe in January. And she called me up crying, bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, what's going on? And I go over to her place. She tells me and everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We're good. Don't worry about it. We'll work through it. And she was super upset that I would be mad, but I wasn't. And yeah, we've made the long distance thing work. Um, and when Amber goes away to college, this place is getting sold, and I'm probably moving down to North Carolina to be with Renee, and we'll have to do all this over again, but it'll be worth it. It'll be absolutely worth it to start our life together and all of that. And yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Um, we've already talked about it. We're gonna get married. Nothing official yet. Nothing official yet. But we've talked about it, and we want to go through that and do it. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and I can't fucking wait for that. And because she makes me so incredibly happy, um, that I just want that every day, you know, in my life, close to me, right? So, yeah, she she makes me incredibly, incredibly happy, and I don't know how I ended up so lucky. So, yeah. I love her to death. Love her to death. So, yes, my girlfriend Renee, thank you for um, welcoming her into the community and all of that. And I'm gonna call her after the stream ends, and I'm sure I'll hear hopefully all the good things, you know. But yeah, So one of us. Yes. 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 Anywho, um, so obviously I've hinted at my future a little bit, right? Um, yeah, Julio, what's up? Julio 2.0. Renee sounds like an awesome individual. Happy you have someone that treats you with the love you deserve. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Yes. Um, yeah. I I lucked out big time. Um, I lucked out a lot with her, and in a good way. Don't get me wrong, in a good way. So yeah, I love the chick. I love her to death. So makes me very very happy. But anyway, like I said, I hinted at the future, my own personal future. But let's touch on what we're doing here in the future, right? Um, if you guys know me, you guys know I have constant ideas. Pardon me. I'm out of practice. But I have constant ideas. And in the past, I have talked about those ideas and brainstormed, you know, with you guys for some ideas and things like that about, you know, different things, right? Um, but I don't necessarily want to do that anymore because I feel that I feel that I'm lacking in follow through. And this is a great example, right? And I'm not afraid to admit that about myself. I talk a lot, but then when it comes to actually getting to the work, I freeze up, right? It's that first step that's always the hardest. And it's incredibly hard for me. And that's kind of what this stream is about. This is that tough, very, very tough first step, right? Um, which leads to the second step and the third, and so on and so forth. And that means, you know, getting back into streaming full time. Um, you know, I know I've said this several times in the past. I I want to try and make a run of this thing. Um, I want this. I want this to be my job eventually. Um, I don't know if that's possible. There are some people that do it, but there's not been anybody to do it on the level that I'm thinking now. I've I I've actually planned out an entire what I call end game, very reminiscent to the Avengers, right? Um where I basically have put down and strategized all my ideas, kind of on a board. Um, if you guys are familiar with, kind of the software Notion, a lot of people use that. I use something else called Milanote, um, and it's wonderful. And I'm not advertising, I'm just saying it's great. It's kind of like a mood board type of software that you can use online and everything. And yeah, I've planned out the entire end game for what I want to accomplish. And I find myself adding to it, and it's all going to take steps, you know? Um, like I kind of referred to that domino situation when unpacking this place. That opens up, another thing, which opens up another, yada yada yada. So like I'm I'm planning a lot and I don't want to talk about it. Um, but there's a lot on the drawing board. Let's put it that way. A lot. um, because like I said, if I really, really earnestly want to take a run at this thing, and I do, then diversification is going to be key. Um, and I'm talking about money, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm talking about earning money, um, but the right way. We've seen it done the wrong way time and time again, through people, you know, in this hobby that sell just dog shit to people, and it kills me inside. It pisses me off, really. Um, so you see things that, like, you see these fuck nuts. What's his name? G Studio. That fucking asshole. I still don't think that he's paid everybody back for all of that, all the orders and the courses and all of that crap. Um, he's such a shit stain, it's not even funny. And if you're not familiar with what he's done, um, go on Instagram, look up my good friend Wins Factor, WINZFACTOR, on Instagram. She has a just a litany of story archives on there that will explain everything, about G Studio and some of these other jerk offs. Don Serratos is another one. Sydney Ang. Both of those assholes are out of the Philippines. Fuck those guys. Um, so yeah, I've seen how not to do it. And that honestly is pretty common sense, but these guys just don't have it. Um, but I want to do it right. I want to do it ethically. I want to do it with an insane amount of value for people. Um, and I want people to be able to thrive. Um, and, for me, obviously, teaching, the skills that I've learned over the years, um, is, high up on that, you know, totem pole. Um, so yeah, we, I, I need to do it at intervals and one step at a time. Yeah. Um, so that's kind of my plan for the future. Like I said, I don't want to talk about anything that I have planned. It's just not how I operate now. you know, um, I've talked a lot about ideas in the past, and they just never came to fruition for one reason or another. Um, oh God, no, 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 no. Handren Hasaki Art. He says a gallery airbrush version, Child of Mecha. Fuck those guys too. Fuck gallery. Um, gallery is in the same bed with G Studio, and y'all can look that up. If you've bought gallery airbrushes, I get it. They're the new shiny thing. But that company's shady as fuck. Just go and look at Wins Factor's stories, and you will absolutely see why they are shady as fuck. Um, so yeah, nah, no gallery for your boy. Um, None of their paint, none of their shit airbrushes. Like, those things are hit and miss. So if you got a good one, consider yourself lucky. I've seen a lot of people do reviews on those things, outside of Gunpla, that are less than stellar. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to give them any more time than what they deserve. But so yeah, so the future's wide open. Um, I got a lot of plans. Um, and yeah, we we work in the dark and celebrate in the light, and that's what we're gonna do. Um, but like I said, I got to do it the right way. I got to build everything the right way, and it all starts with now. This is the first step getting to that point. So, yeah, yep. So, um, questions. If you've got a question, now's the time to pop them in the chat. Um, so just make sure, capital, all caps, question, and all that good stuff. I know I got some questions on the good old Instagram, so let me look up those and we'll get some of that answered. Now, obviously, a lot of the questions that I got were kind of bullshit. But that's to be expected, especially with, you know, the level of friends that I have. So, all right, let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Um, this is a good one. This is the first one that I got. D Norman 91 on Instagram says, "Are you gonna make another serious attempt at GBWC?" That is without question, yes. I'm going back to Japan. There's no question in my mind. Um, the and let me get on my soapbox for a bit with GBWC. I will preface this by saying that GBWC is very, very near and dear to my heart. Um, I love GBWC because of my experiences at those championship levels. The friends that you make and the camaraderie that is there at that level is like nothing that I've ever experienced in my life, and it's addicting, and I want that all the time. um I've made some amazing friends over the years from that. So yes, I love GBWC. A lot of people don't, and I respect that. Trust me, I do. Some people are not into competitions or any of that. I get it. I totally get it. And you don't have to be, and I'm not saying that you have to be. I'm just saying for me, I fucking love GBWC. I love competition. Because for me, competition breeds excellence. Um, and I feel that it raises what I do to a higher level if I'm competing with something. Even if it's with myself, trying to do better than the last build, that competition raises my game, right? Um, so I love GBWC. I don't love what Bandai US has done to it these past few years. And I'm talking back since pre-COVID. Um, it's it's become, for lack of a better term, it's become bullshit. Um, there just hasn't been really any quality champions, and I know that's tough for me to say because uh, last time I fucking, you know, entered GBWC was 2019. So I get the hypocrisy in that. I do. But at the same time, I also see how Bandai US has completely dropped the ball in terms of their handling with GBWC. Um, they have not nurtured this thing. I mean, hell, they're making a fucking multi-million-dollar live-action movie. Why not do the run-up work to that so that you have built-in fans salivating, waiting to see the movie. I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, it just it's sad because it's a shell of what it was. I remember every year back before 2020, everybody was just like, oh man, what are you doing for GBWC? What are we doing here? What are we doing there? Oh, let me see. And people just giving sneak peeks, little images to each other. Like me and when I'm on, the most prolific GBWC champion in history. Um, Good friend of mine. I love the dude to death. Um, and he would send me pictures every now and then. Hey, look what I'm working on. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta compete with this. Like that's crazy. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of them. So yeah, the camaraderie is what it's about. The community, um, the level of execution. Um, it's just it's so good. It's so fucking good. But there's so much bad associated with it too, which kills me. So, yes, I will absolutely be gunning for GBWC. Um, I don't know when, but it's a given. Because I have to go back. I have to go back and experience that. Um, Several more times, at least, right? And if I'm lucky, shit, maybe stand up on top of the podium. Um, I would love that, but I'm not delusional. At the same time, there are many, many people that are extremely talented out there that you know could win it as well. So yes, will I be getting back into GBWC? That's an easy hard yes. Yes. Frankie, I'm not going to answer your question. Armida, what does Ted think tea tastes like? I will take hot brown water for 300, Alex. Um, Kensuke, Ken over there on Instagram. When are you coming back to Gunpla? Probably January. Very soon. Very soon. Um, yeah, Handren, we already obviously answered your question. And then Julio, Julio clipping nubs. I'm not answering your question, but I respect it. Thank you for your submission. So anyway, all right. So we've answered the questions from Instagram. I know you guys have answered or asked some questions in the chat. Let's get back to that and see, do some backtracking here because I know there was a lot of them. So I'm gonna have to work through these here. All right, let's get back. Where did it start? I think Scuffles was the first one to ask a question during that. Where is it? Yeah. Tim, do you really want me to ask you a question? Fair. Yeah, I mean, if you have one. Rafael Torres, what do you do for work? Just curious. Good question. So I was the brand manager of a small automotive consulting firm for 15 years. I actually left that just back in September. I work for an insurance company now. I work on the phones again. I've back in a call center. I don't know if I like it. I'm probably gonna continue looking for other opportunities. If anybody needs a manager of customer experience or something like that that's remote, let me know. I'd be happy to take a look at that because that's what I've done a lot in my days is customer service, especially over the phones. I used to work for Comcast doing tech support, and I was a supervisor there. Did a lot of training and stuff there too. So yeah, I'm very good at that aspect of things. So yeah. Let's see. Gizmo. Yep. Tim's opinion on Dispaye and how is Mecha Decal. I don't have any Dispaye or however you pronounce it. Um, it it seems like good quality. Um, Maybe a bit overpriced, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have any disc by A, so I can't really give you an opinion. Mecha Decal, man. Ever since I left, I kind of just went boop straight off the cliff. Obviously, I haven't been on here to promote it, and I haven't really done anything aside from that to promote it. So yeah, I hopefully we can resurrect Mecha Decal. Um, and it's that's kind of one of my plans. Um, but I think that was probably pretty obvious. But yeah, I mean, there's still you can still get them at USA Gundam Store. Obvious, fuck, shit, right there. Yeah. So yeah, Charles Dodge. Hey man, will you be returning to Twitch? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I have to contemplate that because, like, you know, back in the day, I used Restream for multi streaming, and I had to pay for that. But now OBS can kind of do that natively. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Jashawn, will you bring back your web store and t-shirts eventually? Yes. I need to do a lot of cleanup on those. But eventually, yeah. Eris, let's see. Do you have a rough estimate for what days for streaming? More than likely, same as before, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Probably 10 to 12. That's what I'm guessing. Don't take that as gospel, but that's what I'm guessing at this point because that seemed to work pretty well in the past. Now those Fridays may get complicated because, either I go down to see Renee or she comes up here, and then at that point, yeah, we ain't having a stream. Uh, um, let's see. Spider 2K2, Mr. James. When were you talking about your new TV earlier? What brand and size did you get? Oh man, I got a TCL 75 inch. We splurged on it. It's really nice though. I love it. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to make it through here. There's a lot of questions from people. Gizmo says 2026 SCGMC, so we can all buy you some drinks. Oh man, again, I don't know, man. Um, so the thing with the current job, um, the annual enrollment period is between October 15th and December 7th. So it's basically all hands on deck. So that's really a tough time of year for me to get off work and everything. But it's not I wouldn't say it's out of the question, but it's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be very tough. Scuffles, what year will your next award-winning GBWC entry be entered? Again, a good question. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be 2026 or not. I don't know. It depends on how much work I can get done and how quickly I can get reacclimated to the skills and everything because like my hands haven't touched a fucking model in god knows how long, so I need to get my feet wet with that again. So that's another tough one to say. I'm not 100% sure. Frankie asked mechanism comeback. I don't know, man. um that might not work with all of the different personalities and things like that. Now I'm not sure. I'm open to it, but I'm doubtful at the same time. So, yeah. Um let's see. What else we got here? Oh, it just took a giant dump. What are we doing here? YouTube, come on. Just went straight to the bottom here. Gunpla Talk version 2.0. Probably not, if I'm being honest. Probably not. Mainly because Simon's had health issues Justin's basically out of Gunpla for the most part. Um, Josh has fallen off a cliff. I have no idea what is going on with him. And then Zach is super busy with, working at USA Gundam Store. So I just don't think that will ever happen, if I'm being honest. Again, I'm open to it, but I don't think that'll happen. So, yeah, unfortunate, but that was a good time too. Still Saber, two questions. What are your thoughts of the 30-minute fantasy kits? I'm not aware of those, so I don't have any thoughts on those. I can look at them, but yeah. And what does your new girlfriend think of your daughter? Oh, they fucking love each other. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Renee loves Amber to death. Amber loves Renee, so it's great. It's perfect. So, um Dave B. Question: Merry Christmas jingle? Ha 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 ha. Wait. Just wait. Just wait. Hey, Pabs. Pabs is over there. What's up, dude? All right. Brandon wants to know, did you work on any models the last few years? One project that we hinted at that shall remain nameless with that company that shall remain nameless. Yeah. Kenneth, RX124 streaming schedule. Yeah, probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday again. Like I mentioned before. Um, yes, there's Renee. I love Tim's daughter. She's an amazing kid. Yes, she absolutely is. Absolutely is. Let's see. Other questions. Oh, I'm gonna miss some. I know it. I know I'm gonna miss some here. Um, oh, hey, there's Choco Falcon. What's up, David? How you doing, man? Good to see you. That's awesome. Everybody's coming out. That's so good. Rafael Torres, do you think you'll ever do your Hobby Lobby in person workshops again? That's a good one. I think we have to build back up to that, honestly. Um, so I think that's going to take some work, but it's not out of the question. I would love to do that. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to take a little bit of building back up. You know. Um, let's see. Cycross, will we see you locally at shows and events? I hope so. Um, I hope so. Again, it's one of those things that um probably have to build back up, but I would love to get out to more. It's just the timing and things. That's the hard part for me. Handren Hasaki Art wants to know, will Renee dab into building models? Probably not ever. Yeah. She likes what I do. But yeah, I don't think she's into that. I don't think she's into it. So, yeah. Let's see. We're getting closer to the bottom. Let's see. Oh yeah, Brocade. Will this come back? Urge critical builds to come back, or is Chris Pabs going to keep pussyfooting around? I hope so. Critical builds was pretty cool. Critical builds, yeah. Um, let's see. Edward Leonard, what's going on, Edward? Good to see you, buddy. Question: I still have two Child of Mecha T-shirts in good condition. Are they worth anything? Um, Sentimentally, yeah. Um, Kenneth RX124, he asks, did Tim catch up with the new Gundam anime G Duck? I haven't gotten to that yet. I have Hulu. It's all there. I just haven't had really any desire to look at it, honestly. So, yeah, I don't know. Lorenzo Retiro. What did Renee think of the hobby when you first told her about it? Oh man. She thought it was pretty cool. I showed her pictures of airdrop and everything. She's like, "Whoa, you built that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And so I hope she was impressed. Not that I was just a big fucking geek or something like that. Um, so yeah. But let's see, where do we leave off? Oh yeah, we're getting down to the bottom here. Andrew Young, what's going on, Andy? Greg Blair, howdy, Greg. Good to see you, man. Um, Man, so many people just coming out to say hi. That's awesome. Denver Max, what are your thoughts about um George Airless? Talented builder. Talented builder. Very, very talented. I like his work. Um, I've only heard rumors. I've never met the guy. I've only heard rumors and, back alley conversations. And to be honest with you, those didn't sound great. But, you know, I I can't judge him by what other people say. So I'm going to reserve the right to defer at any point if I ever, meet the kid. Plamo Hobby Magazine. I've never seen one, but I like the you know project. Having good magazines and good reference material are always a good thing, I say. So yeah, kudos to them. Um, so, Juggernaut 471. That's Sarge. Julius. Don't said to Renee. Don't feel pressured about joining the hobby. My wife calls them toys. Yeah, yeah. We joke. Um, let's see. Scuffles wants to know any new techniques like electronics you want to do to break out of your comfort zone for your re-intro into custom Gunpla. Um, yes, actually there is. I um I would like, and you guys are gonna kill me over this. I already know it. I already hear the comments. I would actually like to get into 3D printing. Yes, yes, I know, I know. I can already hear you people talking. I've been so against 3D printing for a good long time. I know. Um, but yes, that is a skill set that I would probably like to tackle, and designing, you know things and stuff like that. So yes, I would like to get into 3D printing. And I also haven't forgotten, the box is actually right over here. A bunch of these guys got together and they pulled their money together to get me a miniature CNC machine. And I would love to pull that thing out and build it and do some cool things with that. I could probably do some cool base, you know, type of work and stuff like that. That would be really, really interesting to do. But yeah, both of those, I think are probably things that I want to get into. Now, obviously, going back to the 3D printing and the hell that I've given it for a good number of years, I know I'm a hypocrite. I admit that. But at the same time, I'm not going to ever fucking use 3D printed things on a competition model. That's, I think absolutely where I draw the line. Um, but I think, there's a lot of things that you can do. If you guys remember Colin Craig, um, he made the little scribing jigs. He 3D printed these things, and I still have a ton of these from Colin, and they are great. So, designing and building things that will make the hobby process easier, designing tools and stuff like that. Oh hell yeah. I think that's an easy win. Honestly. So yeah, I think 3D printing has its uses now that I've seen the light. I know. But So yeah, so getting into designing and 3D printing and stuff like that is something that I want to work with or work toward. Um, and then that, pulling out that little CNC machine and seeing what I can do with that, and that could be, really really cool too. But yeah, so yeah, there are definitely skill sets that I want to learn, and there are other skill sets that are adjacent to the hobby that I want to learn as well, and those kind of fall into kind of the future ideas, and I don't really want to touch on that too much. But yeah, there's definitely some things that I do want to learn and grow my skill set and kind of be, more diverse in that. Especially if I'm gonna make a run at making this thing a career. I would love that, but you know, I'm not gonna cash that check just yet. So we'll see. We'll see. My oh my. Um, Juggernaut Sarge. He wants to know: are you looking into resin or filament 3D print? Both actually. Obviously, with the resin printers, you have that higher detail. Um, with detail parts and things like that. USA Gundam Store has their Apex parts, which are really, really nice. And so if I could design, you know, things like that, that would be a huge thing. But then, for the filament, obviously, that's what Colin always used to, print the little scribing jigs and things like that. And that absolutely has its uses for like quick prototyping, tool making, stuff like that for larger projects and things like that. So yeah, both. But again, we'll jump that hurdle when we get there. I have absolutely no business getting a 3D printer right now because I would not know how to use it or print anything or design anything, nothing. So that's that's far off down the line. That's far off down the line. Denver Max, what about the United States makes it so weak in Gunpla in international competition, even compared to Canada? Is it just Bandai USA refusing to give a fuck? A bit of all of the above, I think. The U.S. is a tough market because we are so used to instant gratification. Um, People would rather buy an action figure than build a model, and I think that plays, a very, very, very large part of it. But at the same time, to your point, Bandai USA doesn't seem to give a fuck. And we've seen that, how long did it take them to announce this year's, winner, USA winner of GBWC? Um, like a week, something like that. It's stupid. Um, and then, in the past, they've had these online things with fucking influencers and shit like that. And the influencer marketing gig is so fucking dead and over with. It's not even funny. Um, that just tells me that brand management on their side of things is not up to speed with what the current market desires. And now, mind you, I was a brand manager for a small automotive consulting company, so I know what brand managing looks like. And this is not it. It's not. Um, there are so many other directions that Bandai USA could take, but they just retread old, tired ideas in terms of marketing. And it's sad. It's sad. They're paying people a lot of money for stale ideas. So it just is what it is. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Dave says scratch building skills are transferable to hard surface modeling. They both have their use case. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. Let's see. Still Saber, did you hear about the Gundam base in Chicago? I did. Um, it's a step in the right direction. Let's call it that. Um, whether that translates to anything, who knows? It could be one of those things where it's popular for a few weeks or a few months and then it just goes to shit, you know? Because they haven't cultivated the market to sustain that store, in my opinion. They haven't cultivated their customer base. They haven't nurtured them. Um, and that's what I find severely, severely lacking at this point. So, yeah, I am questioning the long-term viability of the Gundam-based store in Chicago. I hope I'm wrong. I'll be honest with you. I hope I'm wrong. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Zero Kai, any new master grade model that got released this year you might use in a future project? Oh shit. Um, how many has there been? I don't know of any new master grades that got released this year. There's just so few and far between. It's not even funny. So I don't know. Um, Era says, have you seen Ray Studios tools that he's selling? What are your opinions on the product? They look quality. Um, Ray is an absolute craftsman with his design, especially with models and things like that. Now, if you're not familiar with how Ray Studio got started, he won a competition over in Japan called Orazaku. And for those of you that don't know, it is an extremely, extremely prestigious modeling competition. It is only, for a long time, it was only Japanese modelers only, but then they opened it up to some other Asian countries and things like that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they might have opened it to the U.S., but I think I remember seeing that, but don't hold me to that. Um, but Orazaku has always been about the technical precision and the art of modeling, not the story or the diorama or, big model better, type of thing like GBWC seems to have gone. Orazaku is kind of that pinnacle of modeling competitions, in my opinion, because they haven't wavered from their initial intent, you know? And I respect that about them. So yeah, if I'm ever able to like get into Orazaku, I do it in a heartbeat. And that's how Ray got his start. He won that competition. And I've been watching him kind of grow his audience and things over the years. And yeah, I mean, I don't have any of Ray Studios' tools, but they look very high quality, very well designed, very well made. So yeah. And it's coming from a true craftsman, somebody in the hobby that knows what the fuck he's doing. So points to that too. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Yeah, Zero Kai says Ray Studio can take a pile of junk and make it into a masterpiece. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Um, yeah. Handren Hazaki Art says, Tim, hopefully you spearhead a start of Orazaku version for outside of the pond. Oh man, Yeah, I don't know if I want to get in on that, but it would be cool. Um, no U.S. entries. Okay, I don't know where I saw that, Pabs, but I thought I did, but I guess I was wrong. Um, but I know they opened it up to um um other Asian countries and things like that. I do remember seeing that. Sam says Master Grade Vidar, Barbados Lupus were the only ones this year. Yeah. Vidar's cool. I don't know if I'd ever really do that, but it's cool looking. And then the Barbados Lupus, I already have a standard Barbados Master Grade that I wanted to convert into the Lupus because I have the 1/100. Was it whatever that grade was? So I think I may do my own version of that, but yeah, I mean, the Vidar's cool. So, Denver Max. Speaking of permanent Gundam base, how do you feel about the Bandai USA seemingly pushing so hard for direct to consumer sales with P Bandai mobile Gundam base and now permanent stores? Um, from a business standpoint, I understand it. Um, and what I would that's basically the jumping off point, the starting of it that I would take. I get it from a true business standpoint. They have stockholders that they have to answer to. They got to make money, profit, all of that, and I get that. Um, at the same time, as a modeler, I hate it because I would love to go into a local store and put my hands on a model and get a feel for it. Open the box up, if it's not already fucking wrapped in those plastic straps, and take a look at the pieces and the color of the plastic and all of that. And I want to look at that and kind of judge that for myself. So by cutting out the middleman, the distributors, the mom and pop stores, the online stores, that sucks for us. It's good for them in terms of business, but it sucks for us as modelers. Denver Max followed up. He says, doesn't that conflict with their core business of selling to retailers and small hobby shops? Yeah, it does. It does. It seems like everything's going P Bandai. Um, and that's unfortunate because that drives up the price for us as modelers. And it drives down the availability, So they do create a false sense of supply and demand there. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but again, I get it from a business standpoint. So you have to, in my opinion, you do have to look at it from both sides of that coin. So yeah. um Speaking of Wave, they are making awesome new tools judging from their posts on V. Well, I know they looking at Twitter, they're making new T squares, and who said they got a T square finally? Oh, Brandon. Yeah, he got a few of the T squares. Yeah. Um they're making smaller versions of those kind of T style rulers, but at different angles, like 45, 60, 30, and I think 75, I think were the four angles. And they have them to where they're like both in both directions. So one ruler points this direction, the other ruler points in this direction. They're making a bunch of those, and those look really really cool. I'm kind of excited to see those. So yeah, I I like it. I like it. Um, let's see. Question from Brandon: do you still have your PO box? I do not. No longer. Um, and you know what's funny? You asking that. Where did it go? Where did I put that? Here it is. Yeah. So I was going through and organizing stuff and came across my um, box. Well, it was a big envelope of things that people have sent me over the years. The, cards and letters and stuff like that, and especially like stickers and things like that. There's just so much there, and I want to do something cool with all of these things. So it because they just I think if people took the time to write me and send me even just notes and stuff like that, man, I would love, love, love to, kind of do something cool with all of those. And yeah, so one of the things. Let's see. Scuffle asks, have you made any non-Gumpla art that you could show us? Not really. Um, well, no, I take that back. Hang on. Ow! Fucking shit. All right. So, this is the project that will remain nameless. But I will show you a part that I am extremely, extremely proud of. And that's it right there. This is a 1/60th, or no, what the fuck is the scale? Whatever the mega size is, 1/72nd, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, this is completely scratch built. This is obviously a GMC or RX-78 Verka shoulder. And like I said, this is 100% scratch built out of styrene. Did the angle here with epoxy putty, some little greeblies from Kotobukiya thrown in there. All the lines are scribed and everything in there. And so, yeah, even on the inside, it's, fully detailed in there, scribed, all of that. So I am particularly happy with how that came out. So yeah, that's, one of the things that I was working on. That 148. Thank you guys. I couldn't remember. It's been so long since I touched that damn thing. But yeah, it's one of the things that I did these past 4 years that I never completed. Yeah. 84-1. Yeah, thanks, Armida. Appreciate that. um, let's see. What other questions do we have here that I missed? God, I gotta go back again. See where we left off. Geez, where did we leave off? I think we left off. Okay, I think I'm slowly finding the questions here. Still Saber. What are your thoughts on G-Duck line? To me, reminds me of Evangelion, but in Gundam form. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan on the aesthetic. I like some of the ideas. Um, in the kind of visual language that they designed. But I'm just I don't know, as an overall aesthetic, it's just not my cup of tea. I'm just not into it. But it's different, which I respect. Brandon says, I'm going to de-emulator, then gotta send you and Amber a little something for the holidays. Dude, you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm not begging for charity or anything, dude. Just watching and tuning in is plenty enough. I appreciate that, though. Super Average Gunpla. I'm in Japan. I've never seen BMC in any of the bigger shops. Hard to find. Yes. They evidently, Suji Borido went through some shit during COVID. And from what I remember, they had a hard time just even staying in business. So I think that may be why, but I don't know that for certain. So Yeah. Let's see what else. Spider 2K2 James, have you seen that Gundam models instructions are coming in English lately? The real grade Wing Zero, for example. I saw that they were, basically bi-language, so Japanese and English. So I mean, that's not surprising. You gotta think, a lot of the globe does speak English as their native language, so it makes sense if they want to expand their customer base, right? So yeah. Um, let's see. Juggernaut. Sarge. Any future plans to release Cell Child of Mecha Greebly collection? Not exactly. um, Jocko Fountain David says it looks so fresh too for a scratch build. My plot plate are yellow now. Yeah, dude. This it's starting to yellow. Some of the plastic is starting to yellow. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, that's actually a nice picture. Oh, now it unfocused. You fucker. So, nope, focus on this. Focus on that. Come on. Ah, it was there for a minute. Oh, god damn it. Anyway, story of my life. Let's see if it'll. Oh, see, it was right there. Now, fuck it. Whatever. But yeah, I'm super proud of that. So, um, let's see. Life Death 65. Have you given any more thought on doing a non-Gumpla kit such as Zoids or Armored Core? Absolutely, yeah. I know I've talked about those types of kits in the past and doing, some more artsy fartsy types of things. So yeah, totally on the table. 100%, yes. Um, let's see. Edwin RSA. What's going on, Edwin? Good to see you, man. He says, have you ever or do you plan to build original design China made third party kit? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. The Chinese kit manufacturers have definitely stepped up their game in recent years. Um, but I like a more blank canvas to do my own thing, you know? So that's why I like Bandai products so much, because they are a good mix of, um, they're a good mix of details, but then also empty space where you can go hog wild to them. The Chinese, from what I've seen, love to just pack in a shit ton of details and parts and spikes and pointy bits and all of that. And they are awesome, looking, very well engineered from what it looks like. And, they're selling like crazy, which is good. But I don't know if I ever see myself making one or building one. I don't know. I really don't know. Maverick, what's going on, Mikkel? Where's that GM Quell you were working on? Can I have it, please? No, you cannot. I like I said before, I'm probably going to finish it off stream and just kind of put it out there to people, and say have a look. Dave asks, in your opinion, is the chopper still the best tool for modelers? Man, that's a tough one. Um, And it's an open ended question, which is also tough because you have to take into consideration everyone is at different points in their modeling journey and skill set, to where the chopper may not be beneficial to them, right? Um, for people that are into scratch building and heavy customization, absolutely yes, I still think that's probably the best tool for those people. But people like us are fewer and far between at that point as well. So yeah, that's a tough one. That has layers of complexity. Um, are they still making new tools? Oh, Northwest, whatever, Northwest Shortline. What's it called? Northwest Shortline. Yeah. So Northwest Shortline, I believe, is owned now by Evergreen Plastics, and Northwest Short Line was going to fold back several years ago, but then somebody came in. I think the employees bought it from the original owner, and they basically resurrected the brand. And I may be wrong, but I think Evergreen Plastics now owns that. I know they sell it on their website, so I could be wrong, but I don't know. Um, let's see. Scuffles, how do you feel about all the third party not a Gundam kits on the market, i.e., Kang Dao, etc.? I mean, it's cool. Diversity is always a good thing. You know, it keeps Bandai kind of to a level of quality, you know. So I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Um, let's see. Brandon wants to know, will you be bringing back the infamous third camera? Possibly. It depends. Again, we're gonna start slow, but I would eventually like to have a camera over, and you guys can't see it right now, but on the opposite side of me here is my spray booth. And there's a lot of area there where I could put like a camera. So I wouldn't mind kind of showing you guys, my paint process, even though it's very, very simplistic, probably compared to most, but yeah. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? I think we got the. I think we're caught up, people. I think we're caught up, and it's 10:16. I did not expect this to go that long. So, um, you guys, I think we're at a stopping point at this juncture. It's been a ton of fun. It's been a lot more fun than I had anticipated, and I really thank everybody for coming out and spending the night here with me for these past 2 hours. And it means a lot. It really, really does. And like I said, this was kind of that first step back into this arena. And I want to get back to the place where we were and the person that I was. And I hope you guys come along for the ride with me. Um, because I think a lot of people, kind of got out of modeling for a bit, um, along with me. And I would like to see everybody kind of try to get back to that place where we were, you know, um, and go even farther and do bigger things and better things, you know. Um, I know we can do it, and I know that if we keep at each other and we keep at this thing, great things will happen. Um, and I know that. I know that. And I'm living proof of that, you know? Um, Shitty things have happened, obviously, and you got to put in the work to get better and to get back and to succeed. And that's what we're going to do. So, you guys, I love you all. Every single one of you. Thank you so much for still supporting, um, even after all this time, and keeping in touch and all of that. It means a lot. And I really, really appreciate that out of every single one of you that have been on here tonight. And man, I want you guys to have an awesome holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Hanukkah, all that stuff, whatever you celebrate. I just want you to spend it happy, with friends, family, whoever you choose to spend it with. And because I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to have a good time over this next week or so. And then next year it's about kicking ass and taking names and getting back to this thing. And yeah, getting everybody on board. So, all right, you guys. With that being said, I got my girlfriend to call, and yeah, just have a great time. All right, y'all. I will see you in the new year. Take care and be safe out there. Yeah. All right. See you guys.